All right, very happy to be joined now by a couple of guys who have taken over one of the great franchises in NFL history. Bears general manager Ryan Poles, Bears head coach Matt Eberflus. You've taken over our desk. You look better on our desk than Sims and I do.
Yeah, we kicked him out of here. He needed a break.
Hey, Ryan, let me start with you, since you got the job first, even if it was only by a few days. How well did you two know each other before you started working together in Chicago?
Yeah, we had bumped into each other and shared some phone calls, just, you know, in terms of just networking, getting to know different people. And you could tell just with our conversations, you know, from the past that we had some commonalities and we saw things the same way.
And Matt, let me ask it this way, since you were the second guy in. I'm a big believer that the relationship between GM and coach is paramount. There's going to be adversity. You need to be able to work through it together and not be tempted to blame each other for whatever's going wrong. From your view, how important is that relationship, and how do you plan to help craft the right relationship with Ryan so when the games begin in September, you'll be able to keep a tight bond?
Yeah, the relationship, I think, is very important. I think it starts with emotional stability. You know, you got to have somebody that can think clear, can think, you know, quickly at times, but also, you know, go through the process of getting everybody involved. And that's what Ryan brings, you know, bringing coaches and scouts together. I think that's a real important piece. And I think Ryan and I share the same views that way.
And Matt, I'll stay with you on this. During your time with the Colts, working with Frank Reich, what's the most important thing you learned from him to prepare you for the job you now have?
Yeah, his leadership was outstanding in terms of him letting guys do their jobs, giving input when he thinks it's appropriate, and you know, really working with every position coach. He would go around to every position coach and talk to them in their offices, and I thought that was a great touch, and he learned a lot from what was going on in each room that way. So I learned a lot from him. What an outstanding leader.
And Ryan, from your perspective, you were in demand. The Vikings were interested. I've heard great things about you. You were very well touted around the league. What drew you to Chicago when you did have other opportunities out there?
Yeah, I mean, my past, obviously, it's a unique situation that the first team I had the opportunity to play with was Chicago. It's an unbelievable city, but then the rich tradition. The rich tradition stands out, and all we want to do is live up to that and get our teams to that standard and add to that tradition.
And tell me what spoke to you as it relates to Matt being the right coach right now for this team.
Yeah, leadership. Hands down, it was leadership. He has a presence to him. I always talk about, you know, being demanding, you know, having discipline, setting a standard, but also the emotional intelligence in terms of having a relationship with players, because I think that's important. They need to know that you're invested in them for them to give it up for you and for the team. So he has that blend, and I think it's rare, it's unique, and that really stood out to me through that process.
And Matt, I'm going to raise a question for you that I presented last year to Brandon Staley when he became the head coach of the Chargers as a defensive coordinator, becoming the head coach of a team with a young quarterback who has 1 year in. I've said from time to time in a situation like that, the relationship between whoever's running the offense and the quarterback is critical, and if the team does well, the coordinator may become a head coach somewhere else. How do you respond to that possibility that if everything goes well, you may have a revolving door at that critical position of offensive coordinator, given that you're a defensive guy?
Yeah, so I think we put our system in. And, you know, we're going to build it around, you know, Justin, but also around the skill set of our other players. And I think what you do is it's the Chicago Bears offense. And if, you know, Luke gets an opportunity in a year or two to go and we have great success, he's certainly going to have that opportunity. You would like to be able to promote from within if possible. And then also what's nice about our system is that it's used throughout the league. I mean, our system, our family of system, I should say, is, you know, a third of the league's using it. So there's a lot of quality coaches out there that could step in, use the vernacular that we're going to use, and take it from there. But it's going to be the Chicago Bears offense.
Where do you think the ceiling is, Matt, for your quarterback, Justin Fields?
Yeah, I think we're in process of that right now. To sit there and watch tape of his rookie year to answer that question fully, I don't think we can do that right now. I think we really have to get our hands on him, start working with him, understand him in the meetings, understand how he learns, understand how he processes the game, and then start teaching our system from there. And I think once we get through training camp, I think we'll have a pretty good idea.
Ryan, what's your number one priority in this offseason phase that we're in, scouting, combine, free agency, and draft? What's your number one thing you're looking to address for the team?
Yeah, it's bringing in the like-minded guys into this organization, guys that reflect what we talk about in terms of discipline, in terms of playing hard, practicing hard, playing with intelligence. So it's really grabbing that culture and bringing a bunch of guys in that reflect that, because I truly believe if you can add those pieces that believe that, you can create your core and have a strong culture, and we can just keep stacking from there.
Matt, there's so much talk in the NFL now about analytics, and I think there's some misconceptions about how they're used, when they're used, why they're used. But give me an idea of what your approach will be when we hear about the chart saying go for it on fourth down, the chart saying go for 2 in this situation, or go for it on fourth and goal, whatever the case may be. How much will you be driven by predetermined formulas versus the decisions that you make in the moment, considering all other factors that may be going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think analytics, fuels your instincts to make a statement to start out, but really, I think it changes by game. I mean, what happens in the flow of a game? Who are you playing? How's your defense playing that day? How's your offense playing that day? And I think you make the decision based on what you helps your team win the football game at that time. So I don't think that, if it's a dark green, at this particular situation, that you always say, yes, we're doing it. I think you got to use your instincts and use some common sense too.
Last question, and I want both of you to chime in on this one. How badly are you hoping that Aaron Rodgers leaves the Packers?
I'll let you answer that one first.
Well, as we know, Aaron's a great player, and they got a good football team, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'd
well,
echo
guys,
that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead.
Well, hey, Ryan, Matt, we appreciate your time. We know it's a busy time for both of you. We wish you all the best. Congratulations on getting these jobs. Chicago's a special place, and it's a special fan base, and they're crying out for a contender. We wish you all the best as you try to put one together for the Bears, and we look forward to talking to you again down the road.
All right. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.